When I first heard those words through the phone, I thought I'd misheard her. "The house is mine," she repeated, her voice sharp and confident like she was stating a fact of nature. I sat there, the phone pressed against my ear, my heart pounding. I'd never imagined my daughter-in-law, the woman I'd welcomed into our family, could sound so cold. Chapter 1: The Call That Broke the Silence. It was a warm Saturday morning. I was sitting on the porch with my cup of tea, enjoying the sound of birds in the garden when my phone buzzed. The screen showed Sonia, my son's wife. I smiled at first. Sonia rarely called me directly. She usually sent cheerful voice messages about my grandson or asked for recipes, but as soon as I picked up, I knew something was wrong. Her breathing was uneven. "Dad," she said, her voice trembling but coated with anger, "I can't live with your son anymore. I'm done with him, and the house, you know, the one you gave us, it's mine now." I froze. "What do you mean it's yours?" I asked, trying to stay calm. "It's under our names," she snapped. "And since he's leaving, I'm staying. I'm not moving out, and I'm not giving it back." Her tone wasn't one of sorrow, it was ownership, it was final. Before I could respond, she hung up. Chapter 2: A Father's Confusion. For several minutes, I sat there, staring into the distance, the words echoing in my mind. My son, Amir, and Sonia had been married for 6 years. I'd given them that house, a beautiful 3-bedroom near the lake, as a wedding gift. It was meant to be their start in life, not ammunition for a war. Amir was a quiet, hardworking man, an engineer, patient and mild-tempered. Sonia was the opposite, lively, passionate, and sometimes impulsive. They had met at university and fallen in love quickly. At first, I thought they balanced each other. Amir brought calm, Sonia brought color. But over the years, I'd sensed cracks. The way Sonia spoke to him too sharply sometimes, the way Amir looked down instead of defending himself. Still, I believed every couple had their moments. I never imagined it would end with such a call. That evening, Amir came to visit. He looked like a man who hadn't slept in days. Chapter 3: The Truth Behind the Marriage. "She called you, didn't she?" he asked quietly as soon as he stepped inside. I nodded. "She said she's divorcing you and taking the house." He sighed heavily and sat down. I figured she would. I waited. It took him a few moments to speak. "Dad," he began, "I've tried for months to fix things. She doesn't want to listen. She says I'm boring, that I don't dream big, but I've been working day and night to give her everything we have. I thought she'd understand that love isn't fireworks every day, it's being there, steady and real." He rubbed his eyes. "Then I found out she's been talking to someone else, a guy from her office. She admitted it during an argument, said she felt alive again with him." I felt anger rising inside me, not only because of betrayal, but because of how much my son had suffered quietly. "In the house?" I asked. "She's threatening to keep it," he said bitterly. "She says because it's in both our names, she has the right. I didn't want to fight her, but she's pushing me too far." I could see the exhaustion in his eyes. My heart broke for him. I'd seen my son grow from a curious boy into a kind man, always avoiding conflict. But now he was facing a storm he didn't deserve. Chapter 4: Memories of What Once Was. That night after Amir left, I couldn't sleep. I kept remembering the first day I'd met Sonia. She was vibrant, full of dreams. She talked about opening a bakery, about how Amir made her feel safe. I'd been proud of him for finding someone like her. Over the years, I'd watched their love fade like old paint. The photos from their honeymoon were replaced by bills and silence. Still, the thought of losing both Sonia and my grandson tore at me. They had a little boy, Adam, just 5 years old. He adored both his parents. What would happen to him? The next morning, I decided I had to speak with Sonia myself. Chapter 5: A Conversation with Fire. I drove to their house. Her car was in the driveway. When she opened the door, she looked startled to see me. "Dad," she said stiffly, crossing her arms. "Amir told you, didn't he?" "Yes," I said, "and I came here to talk, to understand." She let me in reluctantly. The house was immaculate, but there was tension in the air. We sat at the dining table, the same place where we'd once celebrated birthdays. "Sonia," I began gently, "I don't want to interfere in your marriage, but the house." She interrupted. "I deserve it. I've spent years taking care of this place. Amir barely notices I exist. I built a home here, and your gift, well, it was for both of us, wasn't it? Her eyes flashed with defiance, but beneath it I saw something else: hurt, exhaustion, pride. Sonia, I said softly, you can keep every memory here, but don't let anger take away your integrity. You have a son watching everything you do. This isn't about who wins, it's about who can live with themselves afterward. Her lips trembled for a second. You think I don't know that, she said quietly. I can't forgive him for giving up on me. I realized then that this wasn't about property. It was about love lost and the loneliness that follows. Chapter 6: The Court and the Consequences. Weeks passed. Amir filed for divorce. Sonia didn't fight it, but she did file for ownership of the house. The process was draining emotionally and financially. Every court appearance tore open old wounds. I sat through most of the hearings, watching my son and daughter-in-law become strangers in the same room. In the end, the judge ruled that the property would be sold and the earnings divided equally. It wasn't victory, it was just the end of a war. After the verdict, Amir looked at me and said, "Dad, I don't even care about the money, I just want peace." I knew he meant it. Chapter 7: A House of Memories. When the house went up for sale, I visited it one last time. Sonia wasn't there, but Adam was, playing with his toy cars on the floor. He looked up and smiled. "Grandpa, are we going to your house now?" I knelt beside him. "Yes, little one, we'll go soon." As I looked around the living room, every corner told a story. The wall where Amir had hung their first photo, the kitchen where Sonia had laughed as she baked cookies, the nursery where Adam had taken his first steps. So much love now reduced to echoes. I realized that houses don't belong to those whose names are on the papers. They belong to those who filled them with laughter. Chapter 8: Healing and Moving Forward. Months later, Amir rented a small apartment close to my home. Sonia moved to another town for her new job. Adam split his time between them, and surprisingly, they found a rhythm of peace. One evening, Amir and I were sitting together watching the sunset when he said, "You know, Dad, I'm not angry anymore. I actually hope she's happy." I smiled. "That's how I raised you, to forgive, not to forget, but to move on." He looked at me, tears in his eyes. "You gave us that house thinking it would build a family. I'm sorry it didn't work out." I shook my head. "It did build a family, Amir. For a while it gave you love, a child, and lessons you'll carry forever. That's more valuable than any property." Chapter 9: The Unexpected Call. Nearly a year later, Sonia called again. "Dad," she said softly, "I just wanted to thank you. You were right about everything. The house, the fights, the pride. I lost so much holding on to anger." Her voice broke. "Adam misses you. Can we come visit sometime?" That day, when she arrived with Adam, there was no tension, no blame, just understanding. She looked at Amir briefly when he came to pick Adam up, and for the first time, they smiled at each other without bitterness. Sometimes healing comes quietly, without apologies, without explanations, just time. Chapter 10: What Truly Belongs to Us. Now, years later, when I sit on my porch again, I often think about that phone call, the one that started everything. If I'd reacted in anger that day, if I'd fought Sonia for what I believed was right, perhaps none of us would have found peace. I learned something through all of it. Love, homes, and even family can crumble, but character endures. The house may be gone, but the memories, the forgiveness, and the bond between us remain. As Adam grows, I tell him often, "Your parents once fought over who the house belonged to, but now they both know you were the real home they built." He smiles, not fully understanding yet, but one day he will. Final reflection. When my son's wife told me, "The house is mine," I thought she meant the bricks, the land, the money. Now I know she was just trying to hold on to something solid when her world was falling apart. And in a way, she was right. The house was hers for a time, because home belongs to the hearts that live within it, even when those hearts move on.